In this training video, we're going to look at the actual import process. So I have here an empty TrackEd version with nothing in it. This is how it comes when you first open it up and log in for the first time. You'll end up on this import page ready to go. And I've also have a folder over here with a bunch of student data that I've pre-prepared. So with that, I've just followed the step-by-step instructions to generate this information and save off all of the appropriate files ready to import in. So really I'm going to be working between step 3 and step 4 here, importing my new data into the system. Now I'm going to start with my term 1 results. I was getting the name there we go. So I'm just dragging and dropping into this box. The other way to do it is to right click and insert file, and then you can use a file browser to go and find the appropriate thing. Okay, so once I've got that in the step 3 box, I then choose the appropriate import button. Now just a quick word about the student results. You really want to start with the oldest information that you're going to want in the system first and work towards the most recent. So for your current year 12s, you might start with their year 10 results from 2 years ago. Then your current year 11s and 12s, you can use last year's data. And then for your current year 10s, 11s and 12s, you can use this year's data. And you can do multiple cohorts at once. So anyways, this is a single cohort and the term 1 results. Now the other really common mistake people make in this area is if you're not using terms and using semester 1, semester 2, they still need to go into term 2 and term 4. That's a pretty important step in terms of getting the data into the right places in the system for the literacy and numeracy, for the QCE, all of those sorts of things. So bring those into term 2 and term 4. Now the other point to note, if ever any of your imports go wrong, so do check them after each import, make sure you've done the right one, press the right button. You can actually revert to before the import. So every time we do an import, we save a backup of the system, and you can go back to that backup at any time and bring that back up as the live version. Okay, so I've got my first file in here. I'm now going to press the import student results button. Am I sure? Yes, I am. Backup is complete. Now it's asking me this term and year. We've actually grabbed that out of the file name where we can. Sometimes you have to fill that in yourself. And I'll now proceed. And it's giving me a page just to check that all the columns are lining up in the right spots. Now this one, most of the time it'll be perfect, but sometimes you'll have accidentally pressed the wrong button. All of the data will be in the wrong columns. So this is where you check that to make sure you've got the right one. Then you press import and away it goes. It's actually creating the students right now. And all of their subjects and all of their results for that term. So congratulations, we're successful. We end up on the home page. We can then choose the cohort and showing the 10 students for that cohort. Then we can actually check that that's all the information that we want. So we can work through, so on the import page we can keep importing through this data here. So we could do term 2, term 3, term 4. I'll just skip ahead. We'll do the dynamic student list next. NAPLAN summary is that one. Actually we'll do that one next, and we'll do the NAPLAN summary import. Am I sure? Okay, off we go. And then we can go back to our cohort, check that that NAPLAN information's come in correctly, go back to our import page, and away we go some more. So we've got our dynamic student list. And we've got OP analyzer data, so I'll grab that, import OP. Then we've got some SLIMS data. No, we actually don't have that import ready here. Tracker. Same again, we don't have an import ready for that. QCS, so 2 different formats for the QCS here. This one's using the TrackEd template. So it's actually asking the question here in a minute. We're going to be using the TrackEd version. And are we using the QCAA or the Ed Queensland ID, which we're using the Ed Queensland ID, hopefully. Find out in a minute. Import, off we go. And just make sure that those are lined up to the right place. Look, I could keep going through these imports, but you're getting the idea here. One I might just have a quick look at here is the coaching notes import. So with that, we can save the coaching notes template. And with that, it's actually just put it onto my desktop. I'm going to open that up in Excel. And it's got the list of students that I'm currently looking at. So you could actually just do a find for a particular academic coach, and then you could export just their students as a list. It would automatically fill in that academic coach column as well. Then they can do a coaching session. They can fill in the date, fill in their notes, fill in their internal notes, and then that can get dragged and dropped back into the system. So if I, for example, put in some notes here for Jennifer, I could put in some goals or some strategies. I'm just typing those words in, internal notes. Might be some behavioural things that you're going to note here. Rightio, so we're just going to save that one, that template. And you can obviously make the text wrap in those, so you can fill in more room and have more space, but I'll do this coaching notes import now. Import, okay. And when I go to her profile, in the notes section here, it's actually recording the coach and the date if I'd filled those in, and then that information that I'd recorded. And over here in the internal notes, same thing, we've got the coach and date if I'd filled those in, and whatever notes that I'd filled into that. So it's a good way to actually do coaching sessions just using Excel, which all of your staff have, and then that can just be dragged and dropped into TrackEd to get that information in. A bunch of other imports here. If you've got any particular questions on any of these, do let us know. We are going to do dedicated videos on a few of the topics here, especially the tracking templates, at risk and vet predictions. But yeah, this is just an overview of how these work, and yeah, we hope you enjoyed.